Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video. So in this video I'm going to do a very quick unboxing for you. This arrived very late last night and this is a brand new 4K release for a movie I have been really excited to get my hands on, and it is Salem'S Lot from Arrow Video. So this is Salem'S Lot, the miniseries that came out in 1979. And it's based off the novel by Stephen King. The miniseries is directed by Tobe Hooper, who, of course, directed the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So just a little bit about the Stephen King novel. It is essentially Stephen King's version of Dracula, but it's his answer to what if Dracula decided to move to a quaint little New England town in America, and that's what you get. There are some differences between the miniseries and the novel. I think in the novel, certain characters are combined into one. There are certain characters that are very prevalent in the book, but maybe a bit more absent in the miniseries. But the biggest difference, I would say, between the miniseries and the novel is the character of Kurt Barlow, the vampire. In the book, he is very much like Dracula. He can talk, he's charming, and that's kind of how he gets his victims. Where in this one, he is just a mute, vicious vampire, and he's kind of like the servant, basically, of James Mason's character, Straker. But despite the differences, it's still a fantastic miniseries. I think maybe because it is from 1979, it's maybe not as scary as it once was, and because it was made for TV, it does feel a little bit tame in places. But I remember when I saw this film for the first time when I was about 11 years old, and up until that point, this became the scariest movie I had ever seen. There's one scene in particular, I won't say what it is, but it's a very iconic scene, and I think a lot of horror fans always talk about this scene being one of the scariest scenes in a horror movie, and even to this day, it does still give me chills, so yeah. But what this film does have, which I think a lot of horror films do lack in, is this film has an abundance of atmosphere. They get the small town vibes so right in this. I think they filmed it in California, but they make it look so much like a New England town that they do really well in that. And yeah, there's a lot of like great sort of nighttime scenes that take place in the woods, and yeah, there's just some very creepy moments with certain vampires and sort of certain things that happen. It's hard to really go into detail without spoiling the film, but yeah, a very atmospheric horror film. And atmosphere is something I would always take over anything else in a horror movie. I don't need jump scares. I don't need, full on like creatures going at you in the horror film. But if there's atmosphere, I am all there for it, and that is why I love this film so much. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a very quick unboxing of this release. I'm not going to sort of review the film for you. I'm not going to talk about the 4K transfer or anything like that. I'm just going to show you what you get inside this box set. So yeah, let's take a look. So first of all, we have the artwork on the front, and this is the most iconic image from the film, I would say. I'd say most poster art for the film use this image. So that is what Arrow have gone with on the front. That's your spine there. And that's the other spine. And on the back is all your features and contents. So I'll go through them in a little bit. But as with a lot of brand new Arrow releases, they all these box set releases, I should say, they all come in these slip covers. They never used to do that with these box sets, but they have done for the last few years. So when you take the slip cover off, you again get the same artwork on the front, basically. That's the back. Not a whole lot going on there. And that's your spine. And then here's all your contents. And the first thing I kind of noticed about this box set is this is actually a little bit bigger than the sort of the standard box sets that you get from Arrow. Yeah, it does seem to be just a little bit thicker, and I think it is because of the booklet. So we'll take a look at that in a minute. But first of all, you get your 4K basically. So with Arrow Video, they always do reversible artwork. So this artwork was on the other side of the Amaray, but as you can see, I've flipped it over here. I've never actually seen this artwork before. I don't know if it's newly commissioned or if it might have been for a European poster. In fact, I think it is for a European poster because I think you'll see it on the poster in a minute. But yeah, that's the other artwork. Again, all your contents, special features. So yeah, and then when you open it up, you get 2 discs, and these are both 4K discs. So there's no Blu-ray, I should say, in this. So that's your first disc, and that's your second disc. So one thing that's quite interesting is that this film, there are different versions of the film. So you get the full mini-series, which is about 3 hours long, but you also get the theatrical cut of the mini-series, which is a good, I think, hour less. So I think it's more like a 2-hour film. I've never actually seen that version of the film, and I probably won't ever watch it, because for me, when I watch it, I always want to watch the full version. But it is nice that you do get that option to watch it. So yeah, the theatrical version will be on disc 2. So you get a little sticker with this as well. So Salem'S Lot, population, 2013. Okay, yeah, yeah, little sticker. Yeah, that'll probably just stay in the case, but you know, it's nice to have. Don't get any lobby cards or anything like that with this. So next thing you do get is a poster. So if you're familiar with Arrow Video, you'll know they always use the same sort of 2 artworks on the poster. So yeah, that's the first image there, that iconic poster art from most releases of the film. And then this is the other poster. So I don't know if that's maybe Spanish or Italian. I do apologise for anyone if I've butchered that. Yeah, I'm thinking either Spanish or Italian, but I'm not 100% sure. But really, really cool poster art. I think I probably actually prefer this one in comparison to that one. I think if I was to hang this up, I would probably opt more for that one, because I just think it is a much cooler image. So yeah, that is the poster. And then the last thing you get is the booklet. Iconic image from the film. This is basically from the scene I was talking about that scared me as a kid. So yeah, that's the front cover of the booklet. That's the back there. So James Mason there, he is brilliant in this film. He is essentially the villain. Well, he is the villain, I should say. And then you've also got Kurt Barlow behind him there, the vampire. It's a brilliant film, this. It really is. So yeah, like I said, this is quite a big booklet in comparison to a lot of the other ones from Arrow. So if I have a quick look at the contents, as you can see, there's quite a lot there. Yeah, there's quite a lot to digest. So yeah, there's a good few essays about the film, one about Tobe Hooper, and then there's an archival interview with Tobe Hooper. He sadly passed away a few years ago. Also an archival interview with actor Lance Kerwin. I believe he's also passed away as well, not too long ago, but he played the character of Mark. He was the young lad in the film. Also another archival interview with Julie Cobb. And at the back you get about the presentation, so what Arrow did to restore it. So yeah, I'll just give you a quick look through the booklet. I'm not going to show you everything, but you know, just to give you an idea of what you get inside. So yeah, it's quite a big booklet, really. This is much bigger than the booklets you typically get with Arrow Video. So yeah, if you're a fan of this film, then there's a whole lot of stuff to delve into, and I'll certainly be delving into a lot of it myself. Yeah, it's a great looking booklet, so very excited by that. So that's basically all the contents that you get inside. So I'll very quickly just reel off some of the special features. There's not a whole lot, I will admit. Like I said before, you've got different cuts of the film. You've got the option to watch it as the full mini-series, or you can watch it as the shorter theatrical cut. You also have the option, which this is a first for me, but you have the option to watch the mini-series version as a full film. Because in the past, when you watched the film on Blu-ray or DVD, it was in 2 parts, and you had to basically finish part 1 and then start part 2. But now it looks like you have the option to watch it all the way through without having to change to part 2. So that's a very welcome addition to it for me. You do get a brand new audio commentary by film critics Bill Ackerman and Amanda Reyes. And you also get an archival audio commentary from Toby Hooper. So you may have already heard that, but for those who haven't, it's great to have it on this release. You do get some alternate TV footage, so some commercial bumpers, and you get an original broadcast version of the Antler's death in the film. I don't think I've ever seen that. I don't actually know which version is which, so that'll be an interesting one for me. And then on the second disc with the theatrical version, you get a brand new audio commentary with film critic Chris Alexander. You get a new interview with Stephen King biographer Douglas Winter. You get a new appreciation by author and critic Grady Hendrix. You get a new interview with filmmaker Mick Garris. That'll be really interesting to watch because Mick Garris is, he's a legend in the horror community. He's actually directed a lot of Stephen King adaptations himself. He created the Masters of Horror series, amongst other things. So yeah, that'll be really cool to watch. You've got a new featurette looking at the locations of Salem's Lot today. That'll be pretty cool. And you get a new featurette with film critic Heather Wixom, who is the co-author of In Search of Darkness. And you get a new featurette with film critics Joe Lipset and Trace Thurman. They are co-hosts of the podcasts Horror Queers. So there isn't a whole lot in terms of, the cast and crew being involved in the film and being involved in this release, but still a lot of great features that I'm sure will go into a lot of detail about the film itself. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's basically everything that you get on this release. So there you go, guys. That is my quick unboxing and my overall thoughts on this new release from Salem's Lot by Arrow Video. Like I said, this is such a great horror movie, and I think it's one that if you're a horror fan and you've not seen it, I would definitely recommend it. Like I said, it's just got an abundance of atmosphere. It's got some great sort of vampire moments in it, if you love vampire movies. And yeah, it's just such a great film, and I can't really praise it a whole lot more. And this looks to be another great release from Arrow Video. If you don't want to get this box set version, I'm sure Arrow will later down the line release a more standard version. The only thing with that though is I'm not too sure whether it will include, sort of the two discs, the two versions of the film. It probably won't include the booklet, I would imagine, and the poster. So you might want to think about that before getting the film. But yeah, if you're happy to wait, then yeah, I'm sure they will release a standard edition of the film. But yeah, like I said, it's a great film, and if you're a horror fan, definitely check it out. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. Let me know in the comments below if you've seen this movie, if you've picked up this particular release. What do you think of it? What do you think of the movie? I would love to hear your thoughts. So thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you all again on the next one. So take care.